Stacy, here we are, episode 124, my friend.
124. How are you? What's going on?
My God, I am so good. You know, when I see you wave that episode 124 back and forth, the episode number, I know, I say to myself how far we have come from the beginning.
Yeah, crazy.
124.
That's nuts. I remember, hey, are we going to get to 50?
Could you imagine if we got paid for this?
I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
We could pay our houses off if we got paid for this. No, we do this out of the love of our hearts for the Rocky community because, you know, the Rocky community is something that is pretty spectacular. And I got to tell you, we got a lot to talk about this on this opening. So before we get too far, how are you? How's mom and dad? How's Kevin? What's happening?
Good. All is good. Congratulations to my husband and my stepson, John. They started their own LLC and they started a trucking business and they got already contracted with an expediting company and they are at training today. So they have their own little thing going on. So I'm very, very proud of them.
Let me just break this down for a second. You're telling me that your husband and your stepson have become Lincoln Hawk and Son.
Yes.
Over the top? Are you kidding me? This is incredible.
Yes, in cargo van size. And Kevin is actually thinking, depending on how the cargo van business and that expediting side, they want to like kind of dip their toes in. And Kevin is considering the CDL license.
Wow.
So that's what, the big truck. So we're taking it, you know, small bites at a time, but they're officially on the road now. So it's really, I'm so happy you mentioned that. So that's so cool. I don't even know why that didn't cross my mind, but yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that is
over the top. That's a core value. Isn't it weird how the paths of our lives run alongside Stallone movies?
Right. Yes. 100%. That is so true.
It's so crazy.
So mom and dad. So I'm going to give you an abridged version of how absurd some of this can get. So you know how like things just come all together at once. Like I'm on the phone trying to make an appointment. Mom's yelling up the stairs because dad needs help in the bathroom. And so I'm managing a phone call, helping dad in the bathroom. Mom knocks on the door. Hey, can you make the tuna melts? Or when would you be able to make the tuna melts? I'm just standing there on hold, helping dad. Mom's asking me when I'm going to
right.
I'm like, what? And it was so funny and absurd and this sort of perfect storm of three things. And I texted or, voicemailed Jess and then you about it. And so many of us were taking care of elderly parents. And this is that keep punching moment. Like, you're just like,
right.
Okay, you just got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you're going to go crazy. And sometimes it's just chaos. And
is that your secret to dealing with it? Finding some type of humor, holding on to that humorous moment and sailing through it? Because I have to imagine, Stacy, you're not alone. I have to imagine other people in the Rocky bubble are going through this. So how do you handle that? Where do you find the strength to do that?
Honestly, it comes down to how rested I am. If I
okay.
So either I got a good night's sleep and then I can laugh it off. Or if I'm exhausted, if dad was up several times during the night and then something like that happens, I get real quiet. I'm not a yeller or a screamer. I get quiet. And so when I get quiet in the house, people get nervous because they're like, oh God, she's fast. So then I go in my room and I just cry until I feel better. So clearly I was rested because I just looked at mom. I'm like, I'm just going to take care of this right now and then I'll get to the tuna melts. But I am curious to hear, in the live chat, how many of you are actively daily taking care of your parents, whether in a live-in situation or not? And I would love to hear some of the silly stories, some of the crazy things that happen, because senior care is nuts. It's chaos. And that'd be fun to know
you're
about.
So right, because I firmly believe 10,000 years ago, cavemen and cave women, they sat on stones around the fire, and the elders, like they were probably 28 years old, the elders, they're in the cave, and the young, the ones who are 15,
Right.
all the cavemen, they're sitting around and they're all talking about exactly what you're going through and how they deal with it. And I believe it's continued through human history. I really do. And I think the more that you talk about it, because you have a platform that you can say certain things.
Yeah.
And without going into deep detail, you put it out there. And so I always think someone could say, Stacy's got it going on. She's adorable. She's perfect. She's intelligent.
Oh,
she has a lovely singing voice. She does her hair very nice. She's surviving. How does she do it? And maybe someone will reach out. So, Stacy, I know it's not that easy for you, but thanks for talking about that.
Yeah, it's not graceful. I mean, people have said to me, "Oh my God, you seem fine," but this is like, I'm having fun here. This is so, these are my people. You're my people. The Rocky Bubble. This is this right here is my break from all of it. And then people have to understand, I hit stop on record.
Yeah.
And then you walk back in. And so while I seem really good here, and I am, and I don't want people to think I'm drowning but when it stops recording, that reality can be heavy. It can be tiring. It's just 24/7. So, and there are people who check in. Rob checks in, Jess, and many others check in on me. And I couldn't name everybody right now, but I do appreciate all the encouragement that comes my way.
Sweet.
Through the DMs. Sweet? Yeah. So thank you all. But
well, being that this is a Rocky podcast, we got a bunch of Rocky related issues. And the first thing I want to talk about, I told you about this and we didn't go over it in our pre-prep.
Oh.
So I got a few weeks back one of the new Rocky statues, and I'm sure you're going to put a picture right here, and it was broken. Okay.
Yes.
It was broken. I got epoxy. I fixed it. I never wrote the Sly Stallone Shop about this. Okay. I never told them. I did put a light-hearted video on my Instagram. I wasn't slamming them. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do something like that. But I did say it came broken. I was a little disappointed, but I fixed it. And then I started hearing from about 35 or 40 other Rocky fans in the bubble around the world.
Right.
Their statues broke in the same spot at the ankle.
Okay. So not well supported then. Right.
Right. So there was an issue, whatever. I get home Sunday from, I'll touch on that in a minute. I got home Sunday from doing 2 tours, and there was a UPS package from the Stallone Shop.
Wow.
And I open it up, and there's a beautiful letter, and it said, "Dear Mr. Kunda, we're so sorry that you received a broken statue. We are sending you a brand new one, supremely packed." And it was packed quite well.
Wow.
And I took it out of the box, and it was amazing. And you know what, Stace? I'll send you a copy of the letter right here.
Please.
I don't know what member wrote it from the Stallone Shop. I can tell you what member didn't write it from the Stallone Shop. But but I don't know. I don't know who wrote it. And if the person that wrote that letter sees this, I don't know who to thank.
Yeah.
Again, I know who not to thank, but I want to thank you very, very much because that is, to me, above and beyond when something goes wrong. I didn't ask for it. I didn't expect it. But yet they heard about it and they sent it to me. So I want to thank them. So now I have 2 statues and one is in pristine condition. So
very nice. It's good customer services, as it should be. So that's
wonderful.
Yeah,
it is. It is. So, one of the things that I find, I get alerts every morning about anything that happens in the Rocky Bubble. And one of the really interesting things was Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
Last week, Eye of the Tiger was rated the best commute song amongst commuters like in the world. Like, this is incredible. Now, Stacy, have you ever had a commute? There you go. Rocky themed Eye of the Tiger has been named the nation's top commute tune.
Right.
Come on. Are you kidding me?
Yes,
the 1982 song by Rocky and Survivor, written by the theme for Sylvester Stallone's Rocky 3 was the most popular song to play. Now, I'm sure our mutual friend and fellow alumni, Frankie Sullivan, is going to love hearing that because that's a few more $1 million coming in
Right.
on the old royalty playlist. But
Yeah.
did you ever have a commute, and what'd you listen to?
It's funny because to me, this Rocky music to me is more workout music than commuter music. Because if you're stuck in traffic to workout music, and I would think it would be more like, you're trying to get, because that music has momentum and you want to be flying, So, but no, when there's no traffic, I love it. But if there was traffic, it would make me feel more stuck. If that makes sense.
No, total sense.
Mhm.
Stacey, one of the things that I love about what I do for for a living, I do these tours, and when I go to work in the morning, sometimes it's Howard Stern. The majority of my time, I do listen to talk radio, Howard Stern. I find him very engaging. But there are some times where I feel I don't have it. I'm empty. And I won't put Howard on. I will put my iPod on. And at the top of my list on my iPod is Eye of the Tiger. It is.
Yeah.
And as I'm listening to Eye of the Tiger, I'm getting fired up in traffic, and I'm just buying into everything. I think about what we've accomplished, you and I.
Oh.
I think about what I've accomplished, and I come back to our good friend Frankie Sullivan, who we had on. And Frankie Sullivan, for you guys who don't remember, he was the lead guitarist on Eye of the Tiger and was with Survivor, and he was the co-writer of Eye of the Tiger. And I remember 13, 14 years old in my bedroom, 1982, sitting there listening to the top 10. Casey Kasem counting down the top 10. Yeah.
Love, yes.
What did you say? Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Yes! That was Casey Kasem, right? I listened to.
Awesome.
We used to. My parents used to take us. I don't know why I'm going down this road, but my parents used to take us every Sunday. This is one of the greatest memories I have as a kid. A little state park called Gouldsboro. And it was probably about 30 minutes or so outside of Scranton. And it was this beautiful state park, beautiful woods, picnic tables, and there was a sandy beach area, nice little Gouldsboro Lake. It was great. Big grassy area, like 300 yards long. My father and I would always play catch, whatever. And the reason I bring it up is because we would start our mornings up there we would get there at about 7:30. Mom and Dad would crack open the eggs and the bacon on the grill under the canopy of the trees. You could see the lake maybe 100 yards down, and it was our table for the day for about 12 hours. And so I was never one for sun worshiping. I couldn't stand it. So I would stay up at the table, and I had the Rocky III album. And you guys know on the back of the Rocky III album is the classic pose with him down with the sky in the back of him,
right,
with the belt, right? Okay. And so I would be drawing that along with Clubberlang or whatever. And I always would listen on a Walkman that my mom and dad got me, Eye of the Tiger. I would just listen to it over and over and over. And you had to rewind it. It sounded like with an iPod, you hit tap and it goes right back to the beginning. You had to rewind it when it stopped. Did it stop exactly where you wanted to and then replay?
Yep.
And I would listen to Eye of the Tiger maybe 100 times.
Yeah.
And then I'd be drawing, and then I'd come out of the safety of the canopy of the trees. I'd go down and say, "Hey, Mom, hungry. Go get an ice cream sandwich up at the shop." And there was a little ice cream store up at the top of the hill. You could buy it. Just give me like $1. Anyway, I just think about all of these things when I'm driving into the city, doing my tours because of Eye of the Tiger. And I say to myself, I can't be the only one. Stacey, what do you think of when you hear Eye of the Tiger?
Just accomplishment, breaking through, sticking to it and being victorious over your self-doubt, really.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Because I think if it's one thing all of us can relate to is having that self-doubt. After everything I've accomplished and done, I still doubt myself by the tonnage.
Yeah.
I'll never be a secure individual. I just have too much doubt. But my God, when you hear Eye of the Tiger, you cannot just sit. You have to get up and achieve. Sue has a moratorium. She doesn't let me watch Rocky after 9:00 at night because I get nuts.
Get you going.
Yes, I'm doing pull-ups off the ceiling fan in the TV room. It's ridiculous.
I want to see that.
Oh my God. It's crazy. Hey, listen. Okay, so are we done? I don't think we have anything left, right?
We have a shoulder issue to discuss.
Yes. Okay. So somebody sent this to me. Somebody sent this picture right here of Sly with a shoulder injury. Now, if anybody is a Sylvester Stallone fan, you'll know this is from Nighthawks, right? You can see he's got his beard. Now, here's the thing. Check out the beard he has here. This is Sly's beard. He's not terribly thrilled with this beard. In Rocky IV, and I'll have to send you a picture on this. You got to put it right here. The Rocky IV beard, as you all know, because you're dedicated Rocky Files listeners, the Rocky IV beard is fake. It was glued on because Sly can't grow a thick, full beard. And he wanted to do the Steve Reeves Hercules analogy. So anyways, so I asked him about this. I said, Sly, what was the deal with this shoulder injury? Stacy, I sent you the post. What did he say to it? Okay. Here he goes. You guys have to understand. I'm getting this post maybe a few hours later, and I've moved on to other things. And I'm like, oh my God, Sylvester Stallone just messaged. I do get nuts when this happens. Okay. And he says, it's real simple. I tore my chest muscle off severely while I was training for Rocky II with Franco Columbu. It was so severe that the doctor said it couldn't be operated until it cooled it down. And it was an experimental operation, leave it to Sly to have that, where they were going to go under the arm as opposed to across the chest to reattach the muscle cell. That's when I decided not to schedule anything until I completed Rocky II. Otherwise, I would have had to wait at least 18 months or more while it healed. Then I'd have to get in shape and deal with the choreography of Rocky II. So I said, the hell with it. I'll just figure out something in the screenplay. That's why I decided to block right-handed, and then Mickey told me to switch to left-handed as though it was some secret weapon that we concocted, and it completely catches Apollo Creed off guard and leads to Rocky eventually winning the fight. So this is a picture of me after Rocky II healing, getting ready to do Nighthawks.
This is the stuff I love. He's going to change it up on the spot. Like, here are my circumstances. How do I write it in? I love that so much.
So, all right, Stace, bring up the second one on that. Let's have a look at that.
All right.
Okay. Sure. So in the end, it turned out to be kind of a blessing in disguise that the audience was in on Mickey's trick. And I got to accomplish what I needed to accomplish, which was doing Rocky II, which in truth was the second half of Rocky I. It's really one 4-hour movie. That was basically split into two. Also, my body type changed quite a lot in Rocky II because of the injury. So I put on more weight and more size to look more powerful to compensate from the injury.
Right.
Now, here's what I want you to understand. You'll see when he said Rocky II, it's TOO. Sly doesn't text that. Sly does voice text, and I can tell you voice text screws up. So I don't want you to think Sly is illiterate, guys. Okay?
Right. No, quite the opposite. Right.
So, Stacy, about these two posts that Sly sent me, I knew the majority of that information. A lot of us knew about the tear on the chest and the experimental thing. We knew kind of about that. But what I love is that he will go back to that moment and he will build up before, during, and slightly after and go right through. And in that is little tiny nuggets I missed and that I didn't know. Now, when I tell a story, I can tell a story knowing it's factual. Right. That's my big thing. That's what I have. I know so much about this character, probably too much, but the problem is there are gaps, and I need Sly to fill gaps, and he does, and he's so generous. So, this is the thing. I write this guy, and he writes back to me, and I never expected. When I write him, I say, okay, here we go. We're just shooting for the fences. Maybe he'll answer back, maybe not.
He won't. Right.
I know how busy the man is. I understand that. The man is a celebrity, a massive icon. He is a family man. He wants more time with his children, with Jennifer. I understand that. He's involved in a great many projects. And to get a reply from the guy, it is a very humbling thing. So I let that go. I said, okay. I wrote it down. I sent it right to you, Stacey. I said, we're going to think about this on the next Rocky House.
Click, click, click.
Okay, there you go.
Screenshot.
Exactly.
Screenshot.
Exactly. Screenshot, swipe, screenshot. And it'll be in a frame up in here very soon.
No doubt, right?
And so I do this with Sly once a week for the last 8 years. So I have a couple hundred conversations I've had with this guy. And so the next week, I ask him a question on something. Let me paint a picture before we put any videos up or anything. Let me paint a little quick picture. Okay, so I'm 15 years old. I'm wearing my grandfather's fedora and leather jacket, and I'm bouncing the ball on the back streets of West Side, going up to the boys' club where they had movie night, where we'd watch Rocky 1, Rocky 2 on a VHS on a 19-inch wood panel screen TV, right? Like no flat screen, a 19-inch.
Right.
All right.
I know. I getcha.
And as I'm walking up there is the one classic scene where Rocky's going, Paulie's leading the way to his house. Stay away, baby. Now, I am not a music connoisseur. I don't know where this is from. I have no idea. And I probably wouldn't have asked Sly that, because even though it meant a lot to me, I have other questions that are more meaningful to me personally. But Dave Santia, who is a guy I have come to absolutely love and adore. He's a sweetheart. He's a world famous artist. This guy's a speed painter, upside down. I mean, this guy is crazy good.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he goes, Mike, since you have access to Rocky Encyclopedia, would you consider asking Sly this question? And I said, sure. So I didn't expect an answer. And 24 hours go by, and he writes me back. I'm on the middle of a tour, and I hold my phone up, and I show. So, like, if we're at Little Marie's house,
right,
where Rocky puts the light bulb in, I hold my phone up, and I show what the scene from the movie, a picture. And as I'm holding my phone up, the entire group in the car can see SS. That's how I have Sly in my phone, SS. Right. And they say, so 40 seconds have gone by and I'm telling the story. I pretend like SS didn't message.
Right.
And they go, Mike, that was SS there. What? I don't want to be personal. Well, who's that? I go, oh, that's Sly. He just messaged me now. Oh my God. Oh my God. He messaged you. I go, yeah. Yes.
Yes, he did.
And they said, how are you not freaking out? And I go, no, I do freak out. I do. After a tour, when I come home, if Sue's working, I will make a Jack and Coke, and I will sit here and I'll look at everything, and I will go through the messages he sent me over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
I'll say, oh my God.
Wow.
Jesus. I will pinch myself. And you would think, I don't know, some people might get carried away with it, but for me, it's a very humbling experience. Anyways, he writes back. Well, let's play the video, and then I'll read his thing. Okay. Well. Guess what I found? Well, all right, I didn't really find it. I just got a message from Sly on a question I asked him based off of a question Dave, my good friend, the artist, asked me. And I've been struggling for decades.
Hey, will you forget about Gazzo, huh?
Hey, don't ask nobody twice.
Don't ask nobody twice.
Stay away, baby. I always loved that, and I always sang that when I walked around the neighborhoods of my my hometown. All right, now have a look right here. The Blossoms with Stay Away Baby. One of Sly's favorite groups, the Righteous Brothers. Anyways, that is your fun fact for the Rocky Bubble. Keep punching. Stacy, would you put up Sly's full text? And I'm going to ask you a favor. I seem to be out of breath. I don't know what's happening.
Sure.
Would you read that for me, please?
Sure. One of my favorite groups were the Righteous Brothers, and they were very big in the 60s and 70s, such as doing songs as You Lost That Lovin' Feelin' and many more. They also had a song on their album called Brown Eyed Woman, and the lyrics went something like, you look at me and all you see are my brown eyes. I'm just a man. That's all I am. That's what I signify. And the singer, whose name was Bill Medley, he was half of the Righteous Brothers, had a very, very deep voice. So I would always try to imitate him. And that's what I am doing, coming down the street without trying to go over the top with my limited vocal agility. Cute.
See, to me, this is just one of the most beautiful things. I could never have imagined when I was 15 years old,
Right?
Sly would be answering a question on a weekly basis to me on this. This is such a profound thing. It's crazy. Even now, like I've had a week to digest this, and it's still. And by the way, in that video, I apologize to everyone. I didn't comb my hair. It was a wild wig day, and so I was just like, it was like Doc Brown. You know, Stacy, I was always a square peg, round hole. I never fit in anywhere in my life, except with my family. Of course, they accepted me openly. But not having any friends growing up with these tours, I never could have imagined that the majority of my tours come from overseas.
Right.
80% of my tours are overseas. 50% of the 80% come from the UK. And every year, for the last 4 or 5 years, every year I get together with a couple of guys, Sean and Marco. And we put together this tour. There they are. So Marco is in the blue. He's got his coffee cup there. We have I forget his name, the bald-headed guy, but he's a Liverpool police officer. And he was really cool. And then we have Sean Wallach wearing a classic shirt with my Mickey sweater.
Yes.
Okay, which is just fantastic. And there I think we have Russell McNally on his phone filming Sean. And what they did was, that's my closet. That's my guest bedroom down here. That's a walk-in closet that I have with all my Rocky stuff in there. And I said, go in, put whatever you want on, try the clothes. I do it all the time. When Sue goes to bed, I come down and play dress up. This is what I do. So
nobody needed to know.
No, they didn't know, but I will say that, damn it. Anyways, so we do. So this week, this is our first time where we're doing 4 days. So on Sunday I had 2 tours, and then Monday they came here to watch Rocky Balboa and the director's cut, or the work print, of Rocky 5. And
nice.
Sue put on, she rearranged her schedule. She was a godsend. She was an angel. I know how good my wife is with the general public, as she gets it from work, because she's general manager and so on. She's got to deal with all types of people. And so she's such a great hostess. She really is. And she's got a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people don't know about. So she has to deal with that. And then she's on. And the thing about Sue that a lot of people don't realize is that she could do a Rocky tour on her own.
True. Yes, she could.
She could. You know, she knows a lot about the character. And so what I found as I was down here telling stories and listening and watching, I could hear her and see her different angles, and she has her own group of people that are listening to her, and I found that fascinating. And Diana, who I love, there you go, put her there, she is right there.
Diana,
she's adorable. She wore her Rocky 4 sweatsuit where he cleans the Lamborghini. So Diana, there she is, hitting the speed bag in my gym. She's incredible. So Diana comes up to me. She says, Mike, she has a copy of Cue the Rocky music. She goes, I need you to sign it. Okay. Then she goes over to Sue. Sue, I need you to sign Cue the Rocky music.
Nice.
And so I really want to give a shout out to Sue and how brilliant she is. And also the shirt I'm wearing is one of my favorite shirts ever. I love that shirt. It's Rocky and Adrian skating. We can do this together. We can win together. There we are. They gave us Rocky and Adrian masks to wear, so we put them on.
How fun.
But that shirt's a very special shirt to me. Anyways, I gave you a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos. Why don't you throw them up there?
Here we go. There's the whole group. I love this.
There they are.
Yeah, Diane is all the way over on the left there.
Right. And we have a second group coming on Thursday and Friday. And so they'll be here to kind of have more fun too.
Oh, you'll have to post those. We can probably show those next time.
Of course.
But your house is like a museum. I mean, this is you could literally sell tickets to this. It's crazy. Look at it. There's your shirt.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm like the cat that ate the canary in that picture.
What's going on here? Why are you
all right, so here's what's happening in this picture. So we're in my gym and the guys are all hitting the speed bag. And all the guys, I love these guys. They're really macho guys. They're like big, thick, strong guys. And they're all going, yeah, it ain't that hard on the speed bag. It ain't that hard. It's kind of hard, guys. And they were all fumbling, and they're like, yes, screw it. We're going to go back to the Rocky room. It was great. It was great. And the guys were a lot of fun. And one of the guys there, he does landscaping. Paul, I think his name was. And I really liked him a lot. He had some insight. We were talking about dogs. We were talking about his wife. And Sue really liked him a lot. And then who do we have? Who did I tell you I want to get on here? Scott McNally. Was it Scott McNally or is it?
Yeah, you said Scott McNally.
Scott McNally. Yeah. Scott I bonded with very well. He's an artist, been doing it a long time. And I really liked him. I liked his concept and thoughts about Rocky.
So he was there. Scott McNally was there in this group?
That was Scott. Yeah, Scott. On one of the pictures, that's Scott. There he is right there.
Okay, great.
So he put he's got Rocky's jacket and he's got my Barons hat on.
Nice.
I love it. He was so excited, and he's such a nice, gentle soul.
Oh,
he reminds me. You know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of one of my favorite people in the world, Kirsty Strain. I mean,
love.
Kirsty is one of my favorites, and he was like her in that calming nature, which I seek that because I am not a calm guy.
Really?
I'm a bit up and down. All right. So are we done? Are we out of here? No.
I think that was our whole opener. Let me look at our list that we very responsibly typed out.
Yes, let's check that.
Okay, we are ready for guest. He is next up.
Who is this guy and how is he related to the Rocky Bubble?
So this is Jenn Barone's brother, Jimmy Fiore. Is it Fiore?
Fiore.
Fiore. Okay, well, welcome, my friend. So happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
It's so wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome.
So right off the bat, I have to say, Jimmy, your shoulders and upper chest, it's about the size of a garbage truck.
Don't mess with him.
You're thick.
Do not mess with this man.
Exactly, Stacy. Jimmy, I would not want to owe you $5, okay?
You're not the first person who said that.
Jimmy, tell me, why are you a large fella? You look great. What is it?
Thank you.
Size?
Hair training, and I'm a professional wrestler. And to do what I do, size, speed, agility all helps. And the bigger you are, the better you look when you're out there. And so it's just part of the deal.
Part of the deal. I got you.
Yeah.
Now, you did some bodybuilding earlier on, a few decades back, right?
Yes, and I'll tell you when I did bodybuilding, I won my first bodybuilding championship in 1996. I placed first. The inspiration for me to get into bodybuilding and training was Rocky Balboa.
Come on.
Rocky. Because I was just such a fan of the Rocky movies and just the story and the training to train so hard to accomplish something that I was dedicated to bodybuilding at the time. You know, you're talking 30 years ago. That I thought I'm gonna train and I'm gonna get in the best shape I can. I'm gonna win this. And the methods of training I had were a lot of running uphill. And every time I would run, I'd have my headphones on and I'd listen to the Rocky IV soundtrack. You know, and then when I came out to do my posing routine, you know, I posed to No Easy Way Out. And then I won that show. I placed first. And then I went on to another show and I placed third. And I posed to Hearts on Fire.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what happens? How do you go from bodybuilding to wrestling?
I've always been a fan of professional wrestling. It's been my you know. And then when the bodybuilding days were kind of over, I still hit the gym still as you can see.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. But to get into wrestling was always a passion of mine, and that's how I got into it. It's just something I said I have to do this, you know. Yeah. So then I went to a reputable wrestling school, got trained, and the next thing you know, I'm hitting the circuit all over Southern Ontario, here in Canada. I'm across Canada. I've been all over the United States. I wrestled some WWE wrestlers like Carlito, Chris Masters, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jake the Snake. I've been in the ring with guys like that. You know, so I mean, and I've had my, I've doing this now for almost 20 years now, wrestling. And my first character, is Diego Da Vinci, but I went by Diego, the Italian Stallion Da Vinci. And when I came out to the ring, I was inspired by Rocky. I wore a Rocky hat, and I had my Italian trunks, my original trunks that I wore, looking like the shirt that Rocky wore in Rocky IV. Remember when he was polishing the Ferrari?
Of course.
Yeah, that's where I got the inspiration. So I thought I'd dig these out of the vault to show you today. And believe it or not, my first few matches, my first year in wrestling, I was coming out to the Rocky music. I would come out to the ring with Hearts on Fire and then with No Easy Way. Those are my favorites to come to the ring with, you know.
Now, Jimmy, I have to ask you something, and this is a delicate question. It's an important question. The future of mankind falls on this question.
Okay.
I know our audience, and they're going to want to know, can you still fit into those Italian shorts?
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say, oh, Jimmy, I got to know, it's wrestling fake.
No.
I can no, I can get into those tights, but they don't fit like they used to.
Yeah,
you know, I have the waist I used to. But
you don't gotta tell me. I get that. I know what you're talking about. Listen, I want to, before we get into the Rocky stuff, you said something that was kind of cute, but also something I like to address. You know, I've seen an awful lot of news reporters where they want to debunk wrestling. Is it fake? No, wrestling is not. It's entertainment, but it is not fake. It is not
at all. Not at all.
No, the pressure, the beating, the what happens to the body that you have to do. I had a few friends that were in that business, and they really gave me an education. Could you just talk a little bit, Jimmy, about how it's not fake?
Well, I suffered a concussion through professional wrestling. Never broke any bones, but bumps and bruises, things like that. The training was beyond intense, you know. And not only you're going out there, it's not just physical, it's physical, but you have to be. It's mental, physical, and all combined into one. If you got the best of acting, theatrics, and athleticism all combined in one, and we are going out there to entertain an audience. We're not a business of tough guys. This is a business of entertaining, you know.
Agreed.
But you have to have some kind of toughness to go out there. It takes a certain someone to do what we do. You know, like you can't just watch on TV and think you're going to go out there and you're going to be a wrestler. The training and the you have to have the right mind focus to be out there to do something like that. It's a lot because you're physically moving, And then you have to think about what you're doing at the same time. And our number one rule is protect your opponent. You know,
Yeah, right.
It's safety is key, right? We all want to go home to our families, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we do crazy moves. Yes, I pick people up and throw them around, but we do them to make it look real and violent,
Of
but
course.
safe at the same time. You know, and the greatest high that I get is when I do something and I get 1,000, 2,000 people jump out of the seats and go, "Wow, did you see that?" That's a rush, you know. So
Jimmy, I've heard the big guys, Hogan, Warrior, Macho Man, ooh yeah, all these guys. I've heard them all tell horror stories. Have you ever come across someone who didn't have your best interest at heart and hit a little hard? Maybe took a cheap shot just because they wanted to make a name for themselves?
In that case, if somebody does that, then they're in the wrong business. We are professionals. Okay.
Will you hit back? Will you?
Yeah. It's called a receipt. So if I'm going out there, I'm going out there as a professional. We're either to work or we call it shooting. Shooting is the real deal. Okay. We're workers. We're going out there to work. So if I'm going out there and somebody wants a cheap shot, expect something back.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it. You want to. We're out there to work. We're not there to be. We're there to entertain a crowd, and we're there for the people. Yeah. But if you got a personal the vendetta with somebody, go out there and you do something dirty, like cheap shot, or do something that's off script, I guess you could say. Then you pay your dues, and you get from a veteran like myself, you get a receipt. Like I'm going to hit you back, and you're going to feel it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when I had your sister on the tour, she told me all about you, and I knew then I wanted to get you on the podcast because there she is. Is she not adorable?
I love my sister so much. She's such a sweetheart. She's so great, and actually, she's the one who.
Too.
And for Christmas this year, she's the one who bought me this wonderful T-shirt.
Look at that! Come on, I love that. Yes,
nice.
You know? I love that.
When I love Rocky, to me, it's my favorite movie series. You know, Godfather is probably second, but Rocky for me is my all-time favorite movie. And then when I opened, my sister got me this. Like, wow. So then we just got the idea. I said, you know what? I'm going to take a picture and send it to the Rocky Files. And the next thing you know, here we are.
Yeah.
So I thank my sister for having me as a guest.
Stacey, why don't you lead us off in Rocky? Isms and all that, you know, go ahead. Let's talk about some Rocky stuff.
Yes, thank you. And it was I was so happy that you sent me that picture. I'm like, and you're telling me that you're Jenn's brother. I'm like, so when are you coming on? That was sort of a no-brainer. And then you filled out the questions, and I'm just so grateful. I want to show off some of your pictures here.
Sure.
Actually, I'm going to ask a couple of Rocky questions. What is your earliest memory? How were you first introduced to Rocky? What's your earliest memory there?
I'm going to say in the mid 1980s.
Okay.
I was 10, 11 years old when I first watched. I think it was Rocky 3 is the first one I seen.
Okay.
And then which got me hooked right away.
Right.
And then I seen the first and second one, you know. But I was introduced to Rocky probably in the mid 80s.
Okay.
In the mid 80s when I was 10 years old, 11 years old. Yeah.
Is Rocky 3 your favorite?
No, I love them all. All of them are just fantastic.
It's a tough one.
My favorite for story wise got to be the first one.
Yeah.
The Rocky from 1976, the very first one. Just the story of it alone, of the underdog, you know, getting chosen to go out and face one of the greatest of all time. And at the time, story was Apollo Creed, you know, and then Rocky, everybody doubting him, and then him just proving everyone wrong was such a great, inspiring story that anything is possible, you know. Yeah, that would be my favorite. Was just the original.
Tell me about this lovely lady right here. Who's this?
Oh, that is my sweet mom.
Oh,
she's my mother. She's very big supportive of wrestling and and everything I do and everything my sister does. And yes, there's one of my promo pictures for my mind. Oh, there, what
this
I do best.
Feels a little. That feels very Rocky 3 right there.
Here we go, baby. The ultimate male versus the ultimate
people. This is great.
Yeah, it's wearing my Talia jacket, paying homage to the crowd, and just The rush is unbelievable when you get out there.
I don't know if you've seen our Michael Dels. He's a big wrestling guy. We've had him on twice.
Mike Dell's a great guy. He really
Mike
is.
You should connect with him. Go back and
you
find
like him. You guys have a lot in common.
A lot in common. Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, you have some pictures and you're with people, and you have to forgive me because I don't know
no problem.
the world that well. So tell us who these folks are. Tell us.
That's Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes, it is.
Yes. I wrestled a show back, I think it was 2010 or 2011, and he was the special guest that they had that day. And him to witness some of our matches and critique them and all that was just pretty rare. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was in a movie with Roddy Piper.
What movie?
A Masked Saint.
Really?
Yes, I was a background wrestler in the movie. They were one of the background actors, when Roddy Piper was shooting his scenes, you can see me in the background, pumping up, look like I'm getting ready for a match, something. And he was great, and to think Roddy Piper fought Mr. T in WrestleMania 2, who was Clubber Lang, so there's a connection there.
Are you kidding me? I love Roddy Piper.
I got to work with Roddy.
I hated Roddy Piper, of course, in the 80s, right? We all did. Yeah. Because he hit Snuka with the coconut in the head, right? In Piper's Pit. But he does, what's the film where he puts the glasses on? They
Live.
They Live. One of the worst movies. And because it's so bad, it's great.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad.
But did you see the beauty of professional wrestling? How you said in the 80s you hated Roddy Piper. He was doing his job. He was portraying a heel that we all believed was that's why he did so well.
Jimmy, I read his book. I saw his documentary. I am a Roddy Piper. I love this guy.
Yeah.
I love him.
Me too.
Saw how he lived on the farm with his family, his kids. I really, really loved him. And to me, it broke my heart when he died so early.
Yeah, when he passed away 2015. And that picture was taken 1 year
before?
But 1 year before he passed. Yeah. They were filming him.
When you were with
he was a gentleman.
How was he? Oh,
he was a gentleman. He was so nice and friendly, respectful man. I mean, he was one of my all-time favorites growing up as well.
I love him. I love him.
And they were filming a movie here in my hometown, and they're like, a wrestling movie. We need some wrestlers. Well, I got hired right away. And then when we got to work with him and do one-on-ones, he was so friendly and nice and easygoing and just a true gentleman. And it was a big loss to the wrestling world when we lost Roddy Piper.
Oh, my God, yeah. I liked Roddy a lot.
Yeah.
Who is this?
That's WWE superstar Carlito. I wrestled him. You can view that match on YouTube. Diego Da Vinci is my character versus Carlito. If you watch WWE right now, he's actually active right now in WWE right now.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I know this guy.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I love this guy. With the big thumbs up and the 2x4.
Yeah.
I love Hacksaw.
This photo was taken, I'm going to say a while back, about 10 years ago. I was the villain, and we were in Michigan, and it was Canada versus USA, so they needed a villain Canadian versus the hero Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the American. Sure. So it was a fun match. Yeah.
I just wanted to show off some of you getting ready for.
Yeah, just getting ready for one of my matches. Yeah, at least
it must take you 40 minutes to lace your boots.
5 minutes.
Right,
yeah. That last photo was a group of my high school friends who came to watch me wrestle. I was in the ring, and I could hear them cheering. And I look on the crowd, and I go, wow. Some of my dearest friends from high school. This was in,
what goes through your mind when you're in the ring and you hear them cheering you? That has got to be one of the all-time greatest feelings, my friend.
Yeah. Surreal, because when I was in high school with them, we were all young, and I had this fantasy about being a wrestler, and no one ever thought it was going to happen. It was just like this. So then but these are my good friends. But then when you're out there, you don't expect it, and then you just hear these people just chanting, your name, and then you gotta look through the lights, and you look and go, whoa. Oh my God! Those are guys I haven't seen in years, and they all got together to come.
But you're in the moment. But you're doing.
Yeah, I'm in the moment. I was in the moment.
It was a very show that you love it. Yeah. So you got to go. But now you're wrestling with your opponent. is there any part you got to remember? Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do a backflip. We're going to do this and that. But yet, at the same time, you know your friends are watching you.
Yeah. In that case, when that happened, you have to get your moment, and then you have to just come down from it.
Right.
Because now when the bell rings, it's business now. It's time to work. You gotta let that go for now, because you don't want to be, But I mean, when I would hit a certain move, sure enough, for fun, I'd look at them and I'd go, and cheer for to get them off their feet, But you have to get off the high bit and get the business right, So because
you're a professional.
Yes, we have to remain professionals. Yes, that's the name of the game.
But just their presence, I mean, that fuels you. That just sort of amps you up a whole lot more. So, tell me, I always love the favorite quote question. What is your favorite? If you had to pick one, all the Rockies, which one speaks to you most?
Oh, it would have to be. It ain't I can do a pretty good Rocky impression. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And you can't go on blaming things because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. That's my,
Nice.
Stacy, I better up my game, Stacy.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a little worried.
I think so. That was fabulous.
One of my other favorite quotes was from Rocky 2, I think it was when Mickey, you have to wear that stinking sweatshirt. Come on, Mickey, it brings me good luck. You know what it brings? It brings flies.
I love that.
Those are the funniest, I can recite so many lines word for word from those movies because I love them so much, Yeah. I mean, we're changing it, but we can't do that the way we did it before. I mean, we're changing. We're turning into regular people. No, Stallion, maybe you think you're changing, but you forget all this money and stuff around us because they don't change a thing. I like who you are too, Apollo, but anyway, you know where I'm going.
Jimmy, what do you think it is for you? What do you think it is about Rocky that has attracted you to this character for decades?
The Rocky to me was just just such an inspiring character, and what attracted me more was the thought that you can accomplish anything if you set your mind to it. I mean, look how he was chosen in Rocky 1, just randomly, and then became who he was. So it inspired me to say that if you have the heart to do it, you can do it, And then sure enough, he went on to become heavyweight champion of the world, and then. And it was it inspired me so much in that aspect.
I love that.
And it's taking the opportunity when it's presented to you, because sometimes the opportunity is right there. Sly has even said that, like you either grab it and go for it, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
You've got to be ready to recognize the opportunity, take it, and just have that experience.
Absolutely. Another little thing I want to share with you is I'm a Catholic, and my brother is a Catholic priest. And just much like Rocky, and much like Rocky, before a lot of my matches, I go up to him and I ask my brother for a blessing, before each match. Just like
Father Carmine.
or I'll go to my local priest here and I'll say, Father, will you throw me a blessing before I go out there and wrestle my matches? So that little thing that Rocky did kind of inspired me to just have that little help from God. To bless me before, to keep everyone safe and healthy when we go out there and perform. So so every time I wrestle, I get my brother to send a blessing, much like Rocky did.
Help center you.
Father Carmine, Father Carmine. God, wasn't that awesome? That was beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. You stop at that window too, Mike. Yeah.
Oh, you kidding me? We get out and we do the whole thing. We genuflect. We get out. We do the whole speech. We're screaming. And the funny thing about that window is the church is St. Thomas Aquinas, and it's attached to a parking lot of a Catholic school.
Oh, cool.
And so we're out there screaming like maniacs at 11 o'clock in the morning. Yo, Father, come on,
you actually did that. I'm so envious of that for you to do that. That is awesome.
Jimmy, I asked your sister when you're going to come. When are you going to come take the tour?
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list.
Okay.
It's on my bucket list. Yes, I got to make it, because when I see my picture, my sister's photos, her running up the stairs, and on your tour. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I am so impressed with your sister. I think you
Thank
come
you.
from great DNA. She is such an intelligent, wonderful woman.
Thank you.
She's such a sweetheart. She is. I really consider myself very, very lucky and very grateful to have been able to kind of hang with her and her husband for a little while on the tour. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, she was very sweet, very smart, and she's an author and always working on.
Have
another
you read the books that she wrote?
Yes, of course. I have
good
them.
Man.
And I think she mentioned in her podcast that what inspired her to write the book is a little bit like from Rocky, how anything's possible. And she saw that goose on the roof in my father's garage, and it just took a pen and a pad and paper and started writing.
Boom.
That's what got her going. Yeah.
You never know where inspiration is going to find any of us.
Absolutely.
You never know. Listen, before we let you go, I got to know. I know Stacy's probably got a few more things. What's the future look like for you? Where are you going? What's in the next 5, 6, 7 years? What's it look like?
Well, I'm turning 50 this year. So, I mean, my wrestling career is coming to an end. I mean, I do have a career outside of wrestling. I'm a welder outside of wrestling.
Okay.
So I'm not like I'm without, but wrestling is my one or two passion, you know.
So are you a spot welder? Spot welder, MIG welder? Spot? MIG
stick welder. Stick, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, as far as like is 5, 7 years, I think wrestling, I might have another couple of years left in me and what's left in the tank, you know. And then maybe I might stick to. I might go to different roles, training people, maybe refereeing matches, things like that.
Do you have a dream match? Like if you could go out, so the wrestler, right? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke.
Great movie. Say what you will about Mickey Rourke, but that's a great movie. Okay.
Oh yes.
All right. So, he goes out, he has the heart attack as he flies off the top rope, and he more than likely probably dies in the ring. Do you not that I want you to die in the ring, but do you have the ultimate ideal match in your mind that you'd like to go out on?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Of course it is. What do you think? I just started doing this podcast yesterday.
My ideal match would just be with anybody that I'm familiar with, that I trust. You know, one of my best friends, who's actually a wrestler as well. Vinny Da Vinci, this character, Matthew Francis' name, and me and him have had so many great classic matches in our territory over here. If it would, I'd probably have to go one-on-one with him again, and then we tear the house down again like we've done before. And because I actually had a retirement match back in 2019, I thought it was done. I actually had a final match, and we had one of those, one of my best matches ever. And then a year later passed, and then I kind of got the bug again. I kind of got pulled back in, So, but I think I would choose my best friend, who's actually a really good professional wrestler, if I were to have my final dream match.
Oh, that's quite a compliment for him.
I mean, I could mention famous names and all that, but I think what sticks to close to home is what's best. Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Stacy, before we let Jimmy get on with his life and get ready to go to work and whatever, what have we missed? Is there any pictures we can post, videos? What more questions do you have for Jimmy?
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely covered all the pictures. Just thank you. I love your energy, your momentum.
Thank you so much.
You feel like the way we all felt after Rocky IV.
I know. I think that's what my sister said was her favorite movie, which I love too. And speaking of the Rocky IV, I got the Rocky IV soundtrack right here.
I love that.
I still listen to CDs, and I got Rocky Balboa, the DVD.
He's a pitchman.
One of my other favorite movies that Sylvester Stallone did was over the top.
We just talked about that.
There's one of my other favorite movies that Rocky did, and these are mine. These are originally mine with the Rocky VHS collection. I think my sister, but these are mine. VHS. You know how many times these have been viewed and watched, all of these, and I still got them over the years. Yeah, so
you're
quite the collection. Yeah,
I love this.
Yeah,
I love this.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, so as we say goodbye, I always have two questions. Number one, if you can go back and tell your 11-year-old self something, anything, doesn't have to be Rocky related, you could time travel, what would you tell your 11-year-old self?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, not to be cliche here, but never give up on your dreams. You know, that everything that you think was impossible is possible. I mean, I remember I can go back to my 12, my 14, I think I was, when I went to watch WrestleMania 6.
Right.
And in Toronto Sky. And if I had gone back in time to that little boy where I am now and told him that one day you're going to be in that ring, you know, and you're going to be wrestling some of the guys that are on this show today, I'd have thought you're nuts.
Right.
You know, but that's nobody knows what life holds. You know, like I remember being a little boy going to watch some of these shows. If you'd have told me then that I'm going to be wrestling some of these guys one day, it's beyond surreal. You know, like. So that's what I would tell them, to never to believe in yourself and never give up, you know.
Jimmy, Sly once said there's a reason we use cliches every day, because they're true.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
They're true. Yeah. Okay, second question, last one, and then we'll get you out of here. You have gone to the office Christmas party. You're going back to the elevator.
Okay.
You walk in the elevator, there's Sylvester Stallone. You have 30 seconds between floors. What do you say to Sly?
30 seconds with Sly Stallone. First of all, I introduce myself. Hello, Mr. Stallone. I'm a huge fan and I respect all your work. And I would definitely have to tell him that his Rocky role had inspired me to accomplish a lot in life. Bodybuilding, professional wrestling. You know, I've even was an actor. I did some acting, which was inspired by the same thing. And I would just have to say thank you for the many years of entertainment, of great movies, of being a positive role model for millions of people, and simply being saying, you know, just thank you, you know, for all you have done for millions of fans, you know, being such an inspiration to us all.
Yes.
Jimmy, I want to thank you so very much for coming.
I want to thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
You're welcome. Now, the only thing I could think that's better than this is if we get you and your sister on here down the road talking about Rocky together. Would you be up for something like that?
Oh, 100%.
Nice.
100%. Me and my sister can get together one day. We'll definitely be side by side. We'll do a podcast. That'd be wonderful.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Jimmy, we always say goodbye with always keep punching, my friend.
Keep punching.
Bye, buddy. Thanks. Thank you.
God bless. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow.
I love a guy like that. You see, he gets the showmanship component. He understands that. Bam, bam, bam. There's always that energy. And that is something that I love about people. I love energy and I love passion and purpose. Yeah. You know, Stacey, one of the things I have always believed is that if a human being has purpose, you know, life might be crap. Life might beat you down and kick your ass. But if you have a purpose, you know, you go to bed at night, you wake up in the morning, okay, I got my purpose. Life kicked my ass yesterday, but today I'm okay. What did you think about our interview with Jimmy?
I loved how he had a retirement, you know, he had a retirement round and then after a year or so, he's like, oh, I guess I'm not ready. And that's Rocky right there. You know, that bug was still there and he didn't stuff it down. He went, you know, back in the ring and he kept going, and I'm happy to see him still going. And
I love that.
The sweetness of Jenn and him, you can see it's almost a genetic how sweet they
totally.
Both
You
are.
can see they all came from the same influences on how to be a good human. And this is why I adore Jenn. It's why you adore Jenn. It's why she was on the podcast. It's why her brother's on the podcast.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun to have a family member. Have we done that? A family member? Your brother. Yes, we've had your brother on. We had Sue
Jay, Sue, my dad.
Yep, your dad. So yeah, I guess we have.
You know, do you think it would be interesting if we got one of Sue's brothers on, or her sister-in-laws?
Yes.
Who really don't owe me anything and they see me from afar? Wouldn't that be interesting? And we've never had one of my nieces or nephews on either.
Right? Oh,
That would be interesting.
that would be fun. I could ask them some fun questions about Uncle Mike.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
But yeah, Jimmy, thank you so much. He was so fun. What a
It was
great,
great.
great, great energy. So we had an idea sent to us by our
Joey Cholo.
Joey Chodo. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Joey Cholo was Joe's probably one of our biggest supporters. Joe is one of the nicest, kindest guys. I could go on for about 18 minutes. Not 19, not 17, 18. I go over about 18 minutes about how Joe is just so kind and generous. And he had this comment that he had said about what was the Rocky movie that called to you? Not that you liked, that called to you. Stacy, I didn't know how to answer that question. And earlier this afternoon, you gave me an incredibly insightful answer. What did you say?
Yes. I said that it's the Rocky that silenced you the most. And because you were like, how do I know which Rocky chose me? Which, which one chose me? And it was just the way Joe said it to me. I was like, no, that's a whole different way to look at it. And for me, I told you it's Rocky 3. I grew up in a sort of chaotic family and everything. He was being pulled in all types of directions in Rocky 3. And for whatever reason, that just resonated with me. And it's like, if somebody's in the room talking when I'm watching Rocky 3, I'm like, get out of here. Like, which Rocky really quiets you because you're so glued to it?
So we were thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if we did one of those speed round things that we did back in Christmas that Joe kind of organized, right? Was that Joe's? No. That was a different one.
For episode 100, we put out a live link. And so people came in.
That's what it was.
So then I was thinking, like, this is episode 125. And so what if we did another roundtable for 150 and 175? And like every, we picked a topic like this. So the topic is, which Rocky chose you? Which one, instead of you deciding, oh, this one's my favorite, which one stopped you in your tracks? And so that's going to be the one that, the topic that we'll talk about for episode 125.
So would you guys be up for planning in advance? We do it on a day. We pre-record it on a day and at a time, maybe it's late at night to accommodate people around the world or earlier in the morning, whatever the time may be.
Right.
And would you guys be up to calling in? It wouldn't be a lot. It would just be a few moments. And if we could get, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 people and just state your claim. Yeah. And I think that would be interesting. Guys, tell us in the chat, would you all be up for that? And then we'll move forward with a date or potential dates that would work for a bunch of us, the majority.
Right. I love it. And then I'll do all the postings on Instagram, so you'll have all the instructions. So that's the big plan for 125. But 124.
Have I told you that I love doing this podcast with you?
Oh, I do too. Ditto, my dear. We have so much fun. We do.
We do. And I love our pre-show conversations. They are the most relaxing and venting out so much.
Unrecorded footage.
That's the podcast. That's a podcast right there.
All of the outtakes. Maybe one day.
There's going to be a lot of bleeps. I curse a lot. I curse a lot. So does Stacy. Stacy actually been cursing a lot. You've been cursing a lot lately.
Yeah, when I'm tired, I suppose that's true.
But we keep it PG for the kids out there. Anyways, Stacy, if I was going to look for you, how could I find you out there?
I'm on Instagram at Had Me at Yo, as well as the Rocky Files, and on tired like I am right now, and on Facebook, I'm at the Rocky Files podcast. And Michael, what about you?
All right, so I'm over on TikTok where it may be shut down or it may keep going. I don't know, but check me out, the Yo Philly Film Tour. I'm on Instagram where I do all my posting and I'm very, very active, the Yo Philly Film Tour. I am on Facebook, same thing. I'm not as accurate over there as I'd like to be, but I also wrote a little book called Cue the Rocky Music. There it is. I love this book. My niece Lauren came up with that cover, and there it is. Stacy's got it. You can have it too. It's very inexpensive. You can go to Amazon. You can go to Ex Libris and check it out. There's a little documentary about my life called The Pretender by the great filmmaker Jimmy Toscano and his crew. Check it out. It's a great documentary. Sly is in the documentary with me. You guys will really appreciate it. So check it out, guys. Stacy, I'm out of here. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna go out on my back deck, and I think I'm gonna light a fire. It's about 50 degrees out today, and the winds are low, so I think I'm gonna have a little fire. Maybe I'll even go do a live right now. Maybe.
Yeah. People love them. Do it. Yes,
it's fun. So hey, I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Keep
punching, my friend.
Bye.